What's up everyone, welcome to my channel. So I figured what's a better way to start a channel where I talk about anime than to start by complaining about it. Nah, but seriously, I wanted to start my channel off by talking about an issue that I've run into before, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this can relate to in some type of way. Even if that's through work, different hobbies, even your favourite foods, I don't know. Anyway, the main point is that it kinda sucks. How are you supposed to react when something you love just stops, being something you love? It's funny, back around the time I first got into anime, I was like, I can never be bored anymore. If I ever do, I'll just, watch my anime. Damn, the sweet, sweet honeymoon phase. The time where every single thing you watched was a flawless masterpiece, and you could literally burn your way through 10 episodes of anime in what felt like 5 minutes. Naruto, light work. One Piece, easy. Doraemon, piece of cake. And I know most people can relate to this. Anime was new, fun, it was fresh and exciting. Some people may be at this stage now, and my advice to you, enjoy it. Nah, I'm just kidding. I know I'm making it sound like the only time you can enjoy watching anime is when you first get into it, when that's very far from the truth. That isn't even true for me. Anyway, the main point is that I know at least some can relate to the struggle of realising and coming to terms with the fact that you no longer love anime as much as you used to. Damn, I'm kind of making this sound like some sort of serious disease or something. Anime burnout disease. Be aware. Symptoms include, how long's left on this episode? I'd rather sit and do nothing instead of watching this show I really need to catch up on. But the crucial reason why I phrased it as coming to terms with is due to the major denial that I personally felt when it came to my specific burnout. At first I just thought that I wanted the episode to finish because I was excited to see the next episode. What's going to happen next, right? Please? It just seemed so strange to me that I was no longer enjoying this thing that I'm supposed to love, or at least not as much as I used to. And eventually I would realise that I sadly just did want the episode to end, and even when I was genuinely enjoying the show. Unfortunately, it was this denial that forced me to watch more, possibly worsening my experience of the series. That's when The Office came around, kind of a low-key show, I don't know if you've heard of it, but in all seriousness, this was something I needed. I sped on my way through that show quicker than any anime I had watched recently. I never felt like I wanted an episode to end, quite the opposite really. This may sound like live action good, anime bad, but no, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's just The Office kinda gave me that wake-up call of, damn, maybe I am really burnt out on anime. So, what did I learn from that? I was burnt out on anime. What did I do? I decided to watch more anime. You would think that it's a fairly obvious fact and that everyone knows that if you're burnt out on something, anything, you should take a break from it. But apparently my dumbass didn't get the memo. And I think that was a lot because, well, since I started watching anime, the sad fact is that I had come to rely on it to make me happy, instead of just watching it for leisure, and that's actually really bad. So now that we've established that I got burnt out on anime, let's talk about why it came about. Well, the obvious reason is just because I watch too much, but there is another reason which I find quite funny and that I think is very unique to myself and how only me would be able to achieve something so stupid. That reason is, drumroll please, MyAnimeList. MyAnimeList. Okay, now I know what you're thinking, like how? But hear me out, okay? It's those bloody add episode and set series as complete buttons. I had somehow turned MyAnimeList into my own little dopamine factory. Every time I completed a series, heck, even finished an episode, I go straight onto MyAnimeList to punch that shit in. Now don't get me wrong, I think MyAnimeList is actually a great website if you actually use it properly. It's great to keep up with seasonal anime and really useful to show people what you've watched and what you're watching at the moment. But for some reason, every time I hit a high number of episodes watched in my stats on my profile, it felt like hitting a new prestige in God. But yeah, all jokes aside, the main reason for my burnout was simply just watching too much, and the constant monitoring of how much episodes I was watching a day through MyAnimeList only made it worse. Okay, so after finally accepting that I was burnt out on anime, it was time to think of a solution to this problem. And again, the obvious reason was to just stop watching as much, or even just stop watching altogether for a while. But the thing that I struggled with so much was the fact that I genuinely still wanted to watch loads of anime. I would still get excited thinking about all the series I wanted to watch, however when it came down to watching them, it just felt there was something physically stopping me from doing so. So the only thing I could do was just stop, and realise that anime wasn't going anywhere. For a while I just wouldn't let myself rewatch anything, even for series that I loved. simply for the reason that I didn't want to waste time when I could be watching new shows. But when it finally got to the point where I couldn't watch new shows anymore, I let myself finally rewatch the first anime I ever watched. The reason I got into anime, Attack on Titan. And it was genuinely refreshing. And not only because Attack on Titan is so rewarding to rewatch after knowing everything there is to know that's happening in the series at the moment, but I think something valuable I learned from this as a whole is that when you're burnt out on something, especially with something you love, it's important to remind yourself why you got into it in the first place. And with anime, I think an easy way to do so is just by rewatching your first or favourite show to make you remember why you truly love the medium. And with that, my burnout was cured. It was full steam ahead into my next burnout. No, I'm just kidding. After rewatching Attack on Titan and having a break, I started genuinely enjoying watching every episode of anime again. But there was something I was doing differently. I was only watching when I wanted to. And to a lot of people that may sound really obvious, and probably really stupid as well. But it goes back to how I was so desperate to consume new shows, to the point where I had to watch at least a set few episodes every day. And whilst only watching when I want to leads to me watching a hell of a lot less, and getting through shows a lot slower, I'd easily take that over watching a lot more if it meant that I'd get to enjoy almost every episode a lot more. And lastly, the final piece of advice I'd give to someone who is burnt out on anime is to have an open mind to branch out and try new things, whether that's sports anime, slice of life, romance. If all you watch is shonen, you're bound to get burnt out watching the same genre with similar plot lines and the same tropes. Don't get me wrong, I love shonen, but experimenting with other genres can definitely be a breath of fresh air, and I would say it definitely worked for me. It will give you a break from what you usually watch, and maybe you'll find something that you like just as much or better. Win-win. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's important to accept that no anime will feel like the first anime you watched, or your favourite anime. Nostalgia is a powerful thing. Just don't make the mistake of watching anime for the sake of it like I did. There's a lot of people out there who constantly chase the feeling that they had when they first got into anime, searching through tons and tons of series to find that one anime that feels special to them again. And if you genuinely enjoy doing that, then I'm happy for you. But if I could leave you guys with one message from this video, it would be to remember why you truly love the great medium that is anime. And that's the end of the video. I don't really want to sound like a generic YouTuber, but if you made it to the end, genuinely, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. I spent quite a long time on this video, probably longer than I should have. Literally, I'm so bad at editing. But I'm definitely going to get better as I make more videos. So if you enjoyed this one, definitely stick around. And also let me know what content you guys would like to see. I made this channel so that I could discuss anime with others, so don't hesitate to drop a comment. Once again, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.